Zendaya was a girl with a fragile beauty, one that seemed to shimmer beneath her weakness. Her skin was pale but glowing, her eyes soft and brown, and her smile, though often hidden behind the exhaustion, could melt even the hardest heart. But everywhere Zendaya went, one thing followed her: the hiss of her oxygen tank, a silver cylinder that was her lifeline, always trailing beside her like a loyal friend and a painful reminder that her lungs were not as strong as her heart. Born with a rare lung condition, Zendaya's world was smaller than most. While other kids ran and played in the fields, she sat on a bench, watching from a distance, her oxygen tube tucked carefully beneath her nose. Many days she wished to be normal, to run, to dance, to scream, but her body would not let her. Still, she dreamed big, bigger than her fragile body could handle. She wanted to become a nurse someday, a person who could help others breathe, even when she herself struggled to catch her own breath. At school, Zendaya was often mocked. Some children called her robot girl or oxygen baby. It hurt deeply, but she learned to smile through the pain. Her father, Mr. Thomas, always reminded her, "Baby girl, you're stronger than they think. That oxygen tank is not your weakness, it's your crown." Those words stayed with her, comforting her on nights when she cried quietly into her pillow, trying not to knock her father hear. Zendaya's mother had died when she was very young. Her father had been her everything: her nurse, her chef, her cheerleader, her world. Every morning before work, he would make her breakfast, double-check her tank and whisper, "Promise me you'll keep fighting." And she always did. One day, during one of her regular hospital visits, Zendaya met Nurse Clara. Clara was different from every other nurse she had met. She was warm, cheerful, and never treated Zendaya like a patient, but like a friend. She would braid Zendaya's hair, tell her stories about her own childhood, and always say, "One day, you'll be free from that tank, my love. Just don't stop believing." Those words became her secret motivation. As months turned to years, Zendaya's health took a few turns. There were good days when she could walk to the garden behind the hospital and feel the breeze on her face. And then there were bad days when even breathing with the oxygen tank felt like drowning in slow motion. But no matter how bad it got, she never lost her smile. She had hope, and hope was what kept her alive. By the time she turned 17, Zendaya's condition had worsened. The doctors said she needed a lung transplant. Her father sold almost everything: his car, his tools, and even their little family land, all in hope that she would get a new chance at life. The operation was expensive, but he didn't care. He just wanted his daughter to live long enough to see her dreams come true. Weeks passed, but the hospital still couldn't find a donor. Clara visited every day, praying with Zendaya, brushing her hair, and telling her stories. Sometimes her husband grew jealous. He didn't understand why she cared so deeply for a patient, but Clara always told him, "Zendaya reminds me of what love really means: caring for someone who may never be able to give you anything back." Then one night, something changed. Zendaya met a boy named Adrian in the hospital. He was visiting his younger sister who had been in a terrible accident. Adrian was tall, kind, and had a smile that could calm storms. The first time he saw Zendaya, she was sitting in her wheelchair under the moonlight, her oxygen tank beside her. "Hey," he said softly, "you look like you are talking to the stars." She smiled shyly. "Maybe I am. I tell them my secrets. They don't judge." "Mind if I join?" he asked. And that night, a friendship began. Adrian visited her every day. They laughed, shared stories, and slowly Zendaya felt something she hadn't felt before: happiness without fear. She told him about her dreams of becoming a nurse. He told her about his love for painting. He even brought her small drawings, each one more beautiful than the last. One had the caption, "Even the broken wings can still fly in dreams." Zendaya kept that drawing by her bed. As weeks turned to months, they fell in love. It was soft, pure, and real. Adrian promised to stay with her through everything, even when her lungs made it hard to speak. He would sit beside her, hold her hand, and whisper, "I'm not scared of your tank, Z. I'm scared of a world without you." Then came the call everyone had been waiting for. A donor lung was found. There was hope again. Zendaya and her father cried together. Adrian hugged her so tightly, afraid to let go. "You are going to be okay," he whispered. "And when you get better, we'll travel. You'll see the sea, run on the sand, and breathe without that tank." The surgery was scheduled for a Monday morning. Nurse Clara stayed by Zendaya's side till the last moment. "You've got this, my brave girl," she said, kissing her forehead. Zendaya smiled. "I'll come back breathing for both of us." The operation lasted for hours. Everyone waited anxiously. Her father, Adrian, and Clara. When the doctor finally came out, his eyes were tired. He said, "The surgery went well, but she needs to be closely monitored." For 2 days, Zendaya was stable. She woke up weak but smiling. She reached for Adrian's hand and whispered, "I can feel air, real air." Tears rolled down his cheeks. He kissed her hand and said, "You did it." But fate is cruel sometimes. On the third night, a sudden complication arose. Her body began to reject the new lungs. The machines beeped rapidly, nurses rushed in, and Clara screamed for the doctor. Her father stood frozen, his heart pounding like thunder. In the middle of the chaos, Zendaya opened her eyes one last time. She looked at her father, at Clara, and at Adrian, who was crying uncontrollably. Her lips trembled and she whispered, "Thank you for letting me breathe love." Then the monitor went flat. The room fell silent. Clara dropped to her knees. Her father screamed her name. Adrian broke down beside her bed, his tears falling on her cold hand. Days later, the hospital organized a small memorial. Adrian painting a portrait of her, Zendaya sitting beneath the stars with her oxygen tank beside her, smiling like she always did. He titled it "The Girl Who Breathed for Love." Her father placed her favorite drawing beside her grave, the one Adrian made with the words, "Even the broken wings can still fly in dreams." Everyone said goodbye, but in their heart, Zendaya never really left. Nurse Clara would often visit the garden where Zendaya needs to sit, feeling the breeze and whispering, "You did fly, my love. You really did." And sometimes, when the breeze blew softly through the hospital windows, it almost sounded like a gentle hiss, the sound of an oxygen tank, reminding them all that somewhere beyond the clouds, Zendaya was finally breathing freely.